Today, I will show you just one extraordinary glow effect that you can make yourself with just some paper, some colored pencils, and maybe a few other media if you're feeling brave. The first step in achieving this amazing glow effect is to print your coloring page on warm toned paper. Any toned paper will do. I like working on Recollections cardstock paper, and it comes in a beautiful variety of warm tones. Now, the trick is, it does need to be warm for this effect to work. But what if I'm working in a coloring book, you're asking? Worry not, you can absolutely create glow effects in coloring books that are printed on white pages as well. But it's going to take a lot longer. We are starting on this warm toned paper, and we're adding our white effects to everything that will ultimately glow. I like working with white charcoal because it's so soft and powdery, it's so easy to work with, and it creates a truly pure white effect, and you can even use a Q-tip to make it glow even more and to set it into the page. Now, you've seen me start coloring pages with white many times in the past. I use it for all occasions, glow effects or not. Even regular skin tones, I often start on toned paper with white charcoal. Seeing how this white charcoal is layering on the page and the effect, the amazing, stunning effect that you are already getting, like this is a glow effect in a nutshell. A little bit of white on already dark paper. But of course, we will take it much, much further than this. So, to go back to your original question, if you are doing this on white paper, for instance, in a printed coloring book, then you would have to prime everything with that warm beige color, that light brown color. And that can take a really long time, hours and even days. We want really, really warm, soft shading. And this page is up in the Academy for free. Be sure to swing by and print it out. And while you're there, check out all the cool glow effect courses and bundles that we have up for Halloween, as well as some other Halloween related courses. Your next step is to add cool blues and to add them in a brushy and soft and kind of an ethereal way, which is why I like to bring in other media at this point. Brush markers are super easy to work with, and they will save you hours on shading. And in fact, if you wanted to use brush markers for that first step to prime everything in a warm color, you could do so. Another option is watercolor paint. Just make sure that your paper is strong enough to handle it, but it's not the classic watercolor paper that has super strong texture, because that will make it difficult to print on. This design is highly detailed. I drew this by hand, especially for you, especially for this project. I know exactly how much detail there is in it. It took me 3 days to draw in all the little fake scribbles. So again, you can print on cardstock. 80-pound paper will handle watercolor nicely. Don't use too much water, and make sure to let it dry between the layers. I prefer brush markers, and I work with Copic brush markers the most. My first color here is a light blue, very light blue. Keep in mind that markers, unlike watercolor paint, they layer a little bit darker than the way that they appear. So be gentle. Start with your lightest colors first and build it up and build it up. I recommend doing 2 layers of blue for this step, regardless of the medium you're working with. One very pale blue, but still darker than the color of our paper. And the next is slightly darker blue. And now you can see that we're starting to build up that perfect balance of warm and cool tones. That is essential for this effect to work. We are creating this mysterious, beautiful fantasy Halloween house that is seen at dusk or dawn or even nighttime, and we want ultimately to have a nice combination of warm, inviting lights and the cool, eerie aspect of the night or the evening. So that combination of cool and warm colors, it will go a long way, and you will see that it will become even more important at the very end. Now that we have the background primed, we can start adding detail with our pencils. I'm a huge fan of priming with one media and then detailing with my pencils. Pencils, especially Prismacolor pencils or any kind of wax pencil that you like to work with, layer so beautifully over marker work and watercolor work. You probably saw my glow effect video. I'm sorry, I have like hundreds of glow effect videos, not to mention multiple glow effect courses over at the Academy. So probably you've seen many of my glow effect videos, but perhaps you saw my most popular glow effect video on Cathedral Cats. That is a perfect example of mixing watercolor effects with a colored pencil. Now, detail work is important, but it's also important to not overwork it, especially in this case. Consider the overall style, consider the overall mood. Like, what is this? This isn't a hyper-realistic drawing of a house. It's not really even a fantasy drawing of a house. It's a fantasy drawing of a doodle of a house in somebody's ancient sketchbook. I think there's a story within a story here. So work with my lines, work with my energy. I've given you something that's in a very brushy, sketchy style. So I recommend applying color to it in that manner as well. So what you want to achieve is this nice combination of super high detail and a little bit of abstraction. As you're adding more and more detail with your blue and violet pencils, start taking your contrast a little bit higher. Now, high contrast is essential to glow effects. Anyone who's gone through any of my glow effects courses, especially fantasy glow effects, you guys know all about building up the darkness in that background. Now, in this case, we're not going to take it as far as we did with the jack-o'-lantern or the fireflies or even my glowing jellyfish. This is slightly different, mainly because it's not a realistic scene. It is a doodle on a page in a journal. So I want to preserve the lightness of that journal page, but give enough shadow for the house so that the glow effect ultimately glows. And now for the moment of truth. This is the moment of decision making. Usually, I tell you guys, press on, take my effects all the way to the end. Please don't say things like, it looks good enough, I will stop here because I'm afraid of ruining it. Risk everything, try everything. It's better to make mistakes and learn than to stop halfway. You've heard me say that over and over again. In this case, I'm going to make an exception. This is actually a great place to stop because it already looks like an amazing glow effect with just ghostly white windows. And in the realm of this fantasy sketchy drawing illustration, it actually works really well. You may want to stop here, but then start another one and try what I'm about to show you because I think it's a much stronger effect. Takes a little bit more guts, but it's worth it in the end. So, if you're brave enough to press on with me, grab your yellow pencils and let's prime everything that's now white with a nice gentle yellow like a canary yellow or lemon yellow in the Prismacolor set. And this is why it was so important to leave our windows pure white, whether it's the actual white of the paper or the white of the charcoal or the white of the white colored pencil that you've added. Because our background is darker, we need to make sure that the yellow that we're creating now is actually lighter on the value scale. Things like contrast and color combos and value scales, all of these things I teach in my main course, How to Use Colored Pencils Like a Pro. So if you haven't gone through that over at the Academy yet, you are missing out, my friends. I've created that course especially so that I don't have to repeat things like what is a value scale in every single video. And in fact, it ended up being my most advanced course and the one with the most information packed into it. 3 years worth of university education in that one course. And once you've added enough yellow and you're still feeling brave and you're still with me, go ahead and bring in a nice bright orange and start adding it very gently to all of the things that are glowing. Now, every step of the way when you're working with pencils, and especially when you're layering pencil over pencil, it is essential that you work gently but thoroughly, meaning adding lots of layers, adding lots of strokes, but adding them gently. So many colorists and illustrators out there use way too much pressure on their pencils. And honestly, it doesn't take much. Like sometimes people tell me that they're barely using any pressure, but they're putting indents in their paper. Friends, if there are indents in your paper, you're using too much pressure. I'm not saying that you're actually grinding it into the page. Sometimes it doesn't take much, but what it means is that you need to be using even less pressure. I always say, like brushing a cat, very gently. The colors will layer on their own. You don't need to grind into the page. So layer, 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 and as gently as possible, but maybe you will need a few more strokes to achieve the desired effect. And if you're able to work gently, you should have no problem adding pretty much unlimited number of layers before you start doing any sort of damage to your pigment. The final steps, I find, are always the most important. It's in those final minutes that everything just comes together like magic. So don't rush through the end. Take your time. Maybe even take a break, go grab a cup of coffee, go watch a movie, and come back and take a look at your creation again and see what feels right and what feels like maybe it's still missing. For me, I feel like the contrast is beautiful, both in terms of value and hue. Again, my colored pencils like a pro students know exactly what I'm talking about. And in my case, the contrast is indeed beautiful. I've created a gorgeous color combo with my blue, orange, and yellow. Color combos are also something that I go in depth in a Pencils Pro and explain why they work and how to pick the right ones. So blue, orange, and yellow is a very popular one, very strong color combo, but I feel like something is still missing here. Perhaps the contrast can be a little bit higher. So if that's the case, I like to come in with my black pencil and add a little bit of black to the darkest shadows. If you built up your layers correctly, this will not look as pure black. You will simply increase the darkness of your darkest color. That's value in a nutshell. But I also felt like my page was a little bit too pale. So I came in with a brush marker yet again, this time with a pale beige, kind of very, very pale brown pencil, to make my page look like it's a little bit more withered, a little bit older. And now I'm happy. Now I'm truly happy. So listen to yourselves, friends. Listen to your hearts. Listen to what's missing in your artwork. So now you can see why it was so important to start with white, to add the white primer so that the windows truly glow.